drama, scandal. Do you consider this cheating? Reports have just hit the internet that last night's fight between Canelo, payday, you'll want payday, I know that, Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. Reports, this sounds crazy. Reports have now hit the internet that Berlanga weighed 193 pounds on fight night. What? 193 pounds on fight night. Now, as always, I'd like to cite the sources. So there is a boxing reporter who works with ESPN. His name is Salvador Rodriguez. And he covered the fight. Boom. Put in Spanish. I got the translation. You see it on the screen. I was told that Edgar Berlanga entered the ring tonight. I'm going to put it in blue for you. I was told that Edgar Berlanga entered the ring tonight at 193 pounds. Just in case, because I got fans from all walks of life, new fans, people who've been watching boxing longer than me, etc. But just so we're all on the same page, this fight was sanctioned in the super middleweight division, 168 pounds. So both fighters had to weigh 168 pounds or less, which they did. But if Edgar Berlanga ballooned up to 193 pounds, then that means he gained 25.4 pounds above the 167.6. It was actually 167.7 that he weighed on Friday. That's a lot of weight. Like, bro, I told you. And it says the Rican won by losing. The Puerto Rican won by losing. Listen, you got a lot of people that want to talk boxing online. I pioneered this game. I pioneered this space. And I'm just letting you know my honest opinion. There is a lot of low level content, bad audio quality, bad visual quality and visual aids, and just shoddy, janky, lacking boxing knowledge content that is published daily in this space. And if you're a fan of boxing, you should want to grow the sport of boxing. So definitely support the real, subscribe to the channel, and just subscribe to what's real. That's all I'm going to say. But my thing is, this is the thing. You got people who are breaking down fights and they don't know what the F they are talking about, right? Like, some people are so emotional, the beta males, where they're going out of their way because they have disdain for certain fighters and favoritisms and, you know, personal favorites, all these things where they're not given a fair shake. Like, I will do a full fight breakdown on the Canelo Berlanga, but I got some other content that I need to push. So you guys keep supporting. If you like the content, I need more resources on the channel. So the more you guys support, the more it enables me to do, so I can push out the content faster. You know, I'm trying to figure out certain things. I'm a one-man army. But stay tuned for the full fight breakdown, Canelo Berlanga. I'm just going to say this. There's a lot of low quality content in this boxing space. Some people, you can believe me, don't believe me, the pay's the same. So I don't care. But there's a lot of people who are just talking boxing, they're talking nonsense. Again, biases, personal favorites, whatever. I don't know what you guys seen in the Canelo Berlanga fight. It really wasn't competitive. And again, I'll do a full fight breakdown so we can deep dive into it, but it really wasn't. I think we live in a society that people want to give a lot of participation trophies, and that's pretty much what it was. Because Berlanga was expected to be knocked out and he didn't get knocked out, that becomes a story, right? Oh, Canelo couldn't knock him out. Bro, Canelo was battering him. He dropped him. And then now we find out that it's looking like Edgar Berlanga weighed 193 pounds on fight night, which, again, I don't know how much Canelo weighed, but Berlanga is taller, he's younger, and he looked big. He looked pretty big, bigger than Canelo. So this is not surprising. In addition, there is a interview with Edgar Berlanga and Eddie Hearn, and he was talking about weighing 205 pounds, right? I seen it. So there was some behind the scenes, and Berlanga was talking about weighing 205 in the previous fighter, something to this effect. So this is not surprising. Actually, I have it for you guys. Subscribe to the channel. I told you I'm the nicest out. I give you guys that work. If you appreciate that, like I said, many ways to support the channel.
Then after that, we can line up me and Joshua.
Now he's joking there. He said after that we can line up me and Joshua.
You want to move up to heavyweight already?
I go in like 205 solid.
I go in like 205 solid.
205 might still be a little bit small.
It's too small.
We can beef you up to 225.
Nah, I'm gonna be fat as shit. Bro.
He said I go like 205 solid. Like what? So this is not surprising that if he's rehydrating crazy weights, that he rehydrated to 193. Just look at him. Look at the size of him. And I told you that's what we're seeing this a lot in this generation. Guys aren't walking around at their walk around weight, or their walk around weight is drastically different than their fight campaign weight. We've seen it with Devin Haney and other guys, right? Where they're just a lot bigger than the weight class they're fighting in. And again, it just lends credence to the people who are hating on Canelo in this given situation for whatever reason, biases, they don't like him or whatever. But he's spinning this man's head around. He won virtually every round. And I'm supposed to give a lot of credit to Berlanga for having a basic boxing trait, which is like heart and pick yourself up when you get dropped. Journeymen do that. There's so many journeymen. You guys don't glorify journeymen that they'll be in there outmatch, overmatch, getting dropped, getting hurt, bloody nose, broken jaw, and they keep trying. So I don't overly credit things like that. Heart is cool. Sometimes you see extraordinary heart where you're like, man, that's just crazy. But all in all, I think that's standard issue for the most part for boxers to show heart, But if this is true, which I haven't heard anything denying it since this boxing reporter put it out, that Berlanga weighed 193 pounds, then it's an impressive win for Canelo Alvarez, right? Again, I think the beta males and a lot of people, they can't focus on the subject at hand. I'm here to break down Canelo versus Berlanga. What I seen in the fight, who won, how it played out. A lot of people, it's like they have ADHD. They're like, oh, but David Benavidez. I want to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. But what does that have to do with the fight we seen with Berlanga? You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people try to convolute and confuse the two. Like, because you have a bone to pick with Canelo for obvious reasons and said reasons, then it makes people want to harshly look at another situation that's really unrelated. Canelo picked who he picked. I watched the fight. This is my breakdown. And again, I got a full-fledged breakdown coming out. People are giving all this credit for surviving, basically. Berlanga surviving. I don't really see that. And then people are like, oh, Canelo didn't stop him though. This is an embarrassment. Again, you got to know boxing. If Canelo fought a man that weighed almost 200 pounds, which is being reported on the night of the fight, and he has this crazy weight gain overnight, and he's younger, he's supposed to be pretty strong. He did show heart and some resilience. And Canelo is fading a bit. You know, Canelo's been fighting at a high level for a long time now. He's been a pro since age 15. So when you couple all these things, I'm not really impressed with like Berlanga did so much. And I told you guys, I'm the best in the business and it's not even close. In my Boxing Ego watch party, I specifically said that Berlanga, him being so big is to his benefit. Plus he was fighting. He wasn't to me, and I'll expand upon this in the video where I talk about the actual breakdown. So subscribe to the channel and be on the lookout for that video. But I'll just leave you with this. I really feel like Berlanga was doing little stands to try to show that he was still trying and, you know, trying to set and catch a trap, but he really wasn't going for broke, which is what he needed. So to me, that's, you're in survival mode, because what Berlanga needed was something major to turn the fight around for him, right? Not just like a couple jabs to try to keep you at bay and then moving a lot and then backing against the ropes and then trying to, you know, have this frenetic movement and then try to catch Canelo with something big and then wash, rinse, repeat. So that's what it was. But again, I'm not really impressed like some of you guys are, especially come to find out he was 200 pounds and, you know, people are trying to make a big deal. It's boxing. You're not going to stop everybody. But beyond that, Canelo is fighting guys that are probably bigger than him in the form of his last two opponents with Munguia and Berlanga. Munguia looks huge and he's younger. So he's taller, younger, strong, and could possibly outweigh, because we're talking about guys that are like 6 foot, 6'1" in Berlanga and Munguia. So they have a bigger frame. They're young, they're strong or whatever. So it is what it is. So it's not, why would it be surprising if Canelo is outweighed? So I'm not going to spice that up like and do too much and question, oh, why didn't Canelo stop this guy, when I just told you. The report said, according to sources, he weighed 193 pounds. That's a lot of weight. That's like what Devin Haney does. You know what I mean? Yeah, you should be pretty durable if you are pushing 200. Like you're pushing like Usyk. When Usyk first got to heavyweight, he wasn't weighing that much. So you're pushing like towards Wilder when Wilder was fighting Luis Ortiz. If you're weighing 200 pounds as a super middleweight, you're pretty close to what Wilder was weighing when he was fighting Luis Ortiz in the heavyweight division. So you're basically a cruiser, a bridgerweight, or a heavyweight, you know, or just like on the cusp of getting towards heavyweight. So I think Berlanga survived. And then now that, to be honest, it makes the performance worse to me, because Berlanga's young. He's supposed to be a knockout artist, and he's supposed to have all this size. Plus, we find out that he rehydrated a lot. You're supposed to go in there and all that stuff you said before the fight, knock out Canelo, it's my time, New York, F Canelo, New Ricans and Fat Joe, all this stuff. I didn't see none of that. And then after the fact and after the fight, Edgar Berlanga, you know, he was pretty much waving the white flag and like, oh, Canelo's my idol. I grew up watching Canelo. And I think he was just happy to survive, and he was happy to go the 12 rounds with Canelo. And, you know, he was doing just enough where he was trying to show some resistance, but definitely not enough to turn the fight in his favor and actually win it. And that became a fine line. So from an entertainment value, it was, you know, it was a cool fight. It was a solid fight. And he was doing enough to kind of try to make it interesting with his size and if he could catch Canelo. But a keen eye, you can see that he wasn't putting enough effort in to really reverse the hole he had dug himself in. Like even Terrence Crawford, credit to him, when he fought Madrimov and the fight was too close for comfort in the later rounds, you see Terrence Crawford take it up a notch and he really started working and he started landing some big shots on Madrimov in some of those later rounds because Crawford has an insane desire and willingness to win. So you've seen him try to, you know, take it up a notch and, you know, level up his offense. I didn't really see that with Berlanga. So again, it kind of looks worse now that you almost weighed 200 pounds. And as the bigger, stronger guy who was talking all this trash, you didn't use your size and try to impose that. You should have tried to back Canelo up, walk him down or something. But instead, the inexperience had Canelo backing you up pretty much every round and bombing on you with your back on the ropes. So it is what it is. But that's a lot of weight. That's that Devin Haney weight, ballooning up overnight. That's where we're at with it.